Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. This is the webinar that we do once a month. So basically what I wanted to share with you is to make you more aware of your potential. And the truth is that our mind is powerful and we are gifted with mental faculties, and it's very important to actually learn how to use it towards our advantage, not disadvantage. So today what we're going to talk about is what's stopping us from achieving our dream goals. We will discuss knowing doing gap. So what is knowing doing gap and how to overcome it. And we'll go through the terror barrier. And terror barrier is something that opened my eyes some time ago when I started studying and being mentored by Bob, and that helped me to overcome my issues with dealing with decisions and other challenges in my life. And then at the end, we will have time for any questions you may have. So let's begin. So first of all, I would like you to really think about yourself and ask yourself that question: what do you think is stopping you from achieving what you truly want? We can spend like few seconds on this question, because if you have a pen and paper, you can write it down. If you don't have to share with the group, it's okay, but just answer yourself, what do you think is stopping you from achieving your truly dreams? So that might be income, that could be relationships, so not just the partner, but maybe friends or family. Maybe you would want to improve the relationships with your family or friends. Or that could be health, so maybe we would want to feel better or become more active. Or maybe we would want to feel more fulfilled and more happy on a daily basis. So all these that I've just named, these are the results in our life. So really think a little bit right now for a few seconds. What do you think might be stopping you from achieving what you truly want?
For me, it's my current environment and my job.
Okay. Thank you, Tim, for sharing. That's pretty much what we are conditioned to believe, right? That this is the circumstances, this is something that is stopping us. So the economy, or maybe people around me, or maybe my employer is not paying me well enough. So that's what we are conditioned to feel like and to believe in. The truth is, what is truly stopping you from achieving what you truly want is you. It is only you, because you are your only problem and you are your only solution.
I like that. I've actually got that on my Facebook profile picture.
It's true though. When we start understanding who is me and what is that I really want, everything will start changing. And I'll actually explain why are we conditioned to think the other way around, and why we always look for excuses and we feel like it's circumstances and it's everything outside of our control. The truth is, we are in control of our results. So we create our problems, but we can also come up with a solution. So like I said, in order to change it, in order to change our life, in order to change our results, and by results, what I mean is, again, our income, so the amount of money I earn, the relationships, health, life fulfillment, happiness, pretty much the well-being each day. So when we truly understand who I am and what is holding me back from living the life I want, and how powerful my mind is. I mean, I'm sure we've heard about statistics saying that we use about 10 to 12% of our brain power, and that's true. So what happens to the rest of it? I mean, that's really fascinating, isn't it? So
That's the subconscious, isn't it?
yes,
Autopilot.
absolutely, it is. It is. And when we understand what's really inside of me, that true power, that limitless potential, this is what's going to really give you the key to freedom, financial freedom, or feeling happy every day, waking up each morning and being really enthused about the day ahead. So let's understand a little bit about ourselves. So this is the stick person. The stick person is something that was introduced by a very well-known psychologist about 100 years ago. He was in healing arts, and he said that we operate in pictures. So basically our mind is very powerful, as we know, but we operate in pictures. And if we know that our mind is powerful, but we don't really understand how it works, then we can't really solve our problems, right? Because we want our results to change. We want to earn more money. We want to have a better life, happier life. But if we don't understand how to do it, then we can't change it. So he's come up with a picture of each and one of us. So this stick person represents everyone. So represents me, represents everyone and each of you. And this is something that will help us to understand what is mind and how we operate. So let's have a closer look at mind. So the mind has two parts that we're going to focus on. The first part is the conscious part, so the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind. So we know, so the conscious mind is something that we are aware of, right? It's our thinking mind. And the subconscious mind is something that we're not always aware of what's there. But we need to understand what's the difference between the two in order to really use our potential to its fullness. And then there is a body. The body is a little bit smaller because we know that the body is an instrument of the mind. So whatever I think inside of my head, whatever I focus on, my body just follows. So it's pretty much like the mind is the master and the body is the servant. So where do we get our beliefs from? So when we are a little child, so very long time ago, our subconscious mind is wide open. And we must remember that our subconscious mind is very powerful. It holds beliefs, habits, and ideas. And now, how do we get those? We get those when we're very little. So up to the age of 4 or 5, our subconscious mind is wide open. So there is a baby, the baby is born, and it has all the ability in the world to actually achieve anything that he or she wants. And now the subconscious is open and it gathers all the information that's being put into it. So all the habits, beliefs, or ideas that we have right now, we got it when we were very little. And then around age 4 or 5, the conscious mind is formed. So what happens? So then the baby, the child, starts to think consciously. So it makes its own choices, decisions, and so on. So a bit of a character is already formed. And how did we get those beliefs and habits? Again, we got them from our family, from our parents, from our relatives, from school, from the environment that we grew up in. And that is called the paradigm. So the paradigm is something that we call a multitude of our beliefs, habits, and ideas. So one of the beliefs, like a really good example would be if a baby is raised in a family that they praise a baby all the time, then that belief is going to straight into subconscious mind of the baby, and that baby will become a very confident adult. On the other hand, if the baby or the young child is criticized all the time, it's never good enough, never feels good enough, that belief will be a part of the subconscious, and the baby then will become a very shy and lacking confidence adult. So that's like one of the beliefs are being formed, and everything happens through repetition. It's the same stuff over and over again, and the same habits are being imposed, and the same ideas. So as we grow older and older, we go through our educational system. Again, we gather more information, we observe more, and with the constant repetition of any idea, an idea could be, for example, I need to finish a very good university in order to get a good job. That's an idea. If it's repeated over and over again, that becomes my belief on a subconscious level. So I go through my life and I believe subconsciously that I need to get a very good education in order to get a good job. Another belief could be you need to work hard to earn a lot of money. So I form this belief through a constant repetition because I can hear it from one person to another, and I repeat it over and over in my head, and that again believes a part of my paradigm. So paradigm is a multitude of habits, and I go through life and I believe that I need to work hard. I need to work hard to get more money. I need to work hard to become maybe level up in the company, and so on. So with all these ideas and beliefs, I form my character. I form my beliefs that are in subconscious part of my mind. And what's the subconscious part of the mind? The subconscious part of the mind, which is about 95% of the mind, that controls my behavior. And my behavior is my decision-making process, is going basically through life and making choices, because I make choices based on my logic, based on what's in my paradigm. Okay, so now what happens next? So we learn who we are as we go through life. We try and experiment certain ideas, what works for us, what doesn't. So we observe constantly, we make observations. If something doesn't work, we course correct and we try something else. And again, with time, each observation, each experience gives a feedback to our mind. And with time, we create even more beliefs about ourselves. We create beliefs like, I'm good for this job, or I'm not so good, I'm not worthy, I'm not ready. So all these experiences are, sorry, there is a background noise. I think, Jenny, could you, oh, someone's got a background noise? Okay. So whoever has a background noise, please mute themselves. Thank you. So all these beliefs are shaping our life, because the results that we have in our life, so again, the amount of money we earn, it comes from my self-image. My self-image, my programmed self-image from a long time ago creates my income, because I believe subconsciously how much I am worth. If I believe subconsciously that I'm not worth much, then my income is going to reflect it. Again, money do not come from my employer. It comes through my employer. So it doesn't matter what country I'm going to be living, what job I'm going to be doing. Am I going to be working more hours or less hours? I'm going to be earning the same amount of money. If this is something you don't believe in me, you need to make a research, because I've been working with people who actually, from changing 2 jobs, went on to a part-time job, an online business, and they earned exactly the same amount of money as they used to earn working 2 jobs 7 days a week. And that's a proven example. And that really made them think, that made them realize that they are programmed with money belief. They were not even aware of it. They were happy with the results, because when I've asked them, okay, has your income changed for the past few years? They said, yeah, absolutely. I work a lot less right now and I have more money. But what they meant to say, I have exactly the same money as before working 2 jobs. But because for them it was more money because they worked less. But this is an example that shows the person will always end up earning, on average, whatever their self-image is programmed with when it comes to money. Because our results, we must remember, this is a statement that's been proven scientifically, our results reflect what's going on in our subconscious mind. And we must understand that the subconscious mind is very powerful. It's about 95% of the mind, and it really controls your behavior, and your behavior gives you the results you have. So this is something important to really think about. And when you understand the power of your subconscious and the power of your paradigms, and paradigms are a multitude of habits, ideas, and beliefs, when you truly understand that, you will know that in order to get more money, in order to have better and more meaningful relationships, or have a better health, it's not just forcing your behavior to change, because if you force your behavior to change, that's all short term. You need to go deeper. You need to really try to understand what sort of beliefs you have about money, for example, that may holding you back from earning the amount of money you want. What sort of beliefs do you have about relationships that may be not giving you the relationships you're happy with? And the same with health and happiness and feeling fulfilled. What sort of beliefs or ideas about yourself, your being, do you really hold that may be holding you back from living the life you want? Because results always tell the truth. Results show you where you are programmed with the regards on, depending on department in your life. So either money or relationships or health or happiness. So we go through life and we try to find a better way, because that's what we do naturally. We really, that's why we're here, even during this webinar tonight. We're here because we want to find a better way. We want to find an easier way. We know that there is something better out there. We can feel that we're capable of doing more. And so we try to find a way. We do research, we read books, we watch online motivational videos. So we really are trying to gather as much information as we can, because we want to improve our life. So that imagine yourself that you've read so many motivation books, and perhaps you watching online videos from time to time, and after that book or after that video you feel really inspired. You feel like, right, now I'm gonna do it. If they can do it, I can do it. So you really feel like, this is my time, I know what to do, I've read the book and it tells me what to do, and now I'm gonna do it. So you really feel like it. Remember that time when you felt like it. And then what happens later? What happens a few months later, or a year later, or 5 years later? If you are stuck in the same place with your results, if you are getting the same results that you were a few years earlier, it means that you didn't internalize the information that you've learned. And that's very important to understand. If after thinking or feeling that you know what to do, that finally is the time for you to change the results in your life, and you really wanted to go for it, and a few months later or years later, the results are exactly the same. You might have changed jobs, or maybe you moved homes, or maybe you've changed, maybe you have a different relationship. But if you feel exactly the same, not fulfilled, if your income, even if you change jobs, is exactly the same or very similar, more or less, then it means that information that you've gathered before are not internalized, because your behavior hasn't changed. And we must remember, very simple, results tell us a very interesting story. It shows us where we are programmed. So if our results haven't changed, it means I haven't changed my programming. I didn't go deep enough to my subconscious, and I didn't change my habits, ideas, or beliefs. So this is what we call knowing doing gap. This is the time in our life, it could have happened a few times in your life, that we know what to do. consciously we are able to make decisions and just to say, this year is going to be the year that I'm going to be earning twice as much as last year. So we make that conscious decision, but that conscious mind is our intellectual mind, is the knowing part of our mind. So we know what to do. If someone will, for example, if you speak to a friend and you say, well, I really want to change a job and I know what to do, and your friend is trying to give you some advice and you listen to it and you're thinking, I know this. I know I can do it. I know better than that. So the knowing part is your conscious mind, is your intellectual mind, your educated mind. That part of the mind gathers information. That's why you know what you know. You know what to do. You've read these books, you've heard the stories already, you've listened to motivational speeches, videos, and so on. You know what to do. But that part, the conscious mind, is not responsible for the doing part. That part of the conscious mind is only gathering information. And that's the very huge difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is the doing part. The subconscious mind is the part that controls your behavior, and your behavior gives you the results. So it's very, very important to understand that there is a gap between what we know.
It's like my colleague at work. He's been told, like, I don't know, but 10 times that if a program fails to install, a certain program we have to install on the computers at my job, if that partly installed, you have to remove it completely before you attempt to reinstall it. He's been told like 10 times at least in the last week, and he still does it wrong.
Absolutely. That's a great example. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. People at work, they know what to do. They've been told this many times. A very good example, actually. Thank you for sharing, because we have, especially in corporations, in teams, working with a team of people, we have so many trainings at work to tell us what to do. It's not like people don't know what to do. They've heard it so many times, but it doesn't mean that they're going to do it. It's the same for us. Knowing what to do doesn't mean I'm actually going to do it, because the doing part is a different part of the mind, and I must be aware of it, because when I'm aware of it, then I will be able to change it. Being aware of something gives me the chance to change it, because we can't change something if we're not aware of it. That's for sure. So awareness is a huge, huge first step to make a change. Once I'm aware of it, all right, okay, there is a gap between what I know and what I do. So like you said, when your colleague hasn't done it in the past, or he's actually doing pretty much the same, that he doesn't know what to, he's not doing it, then it means in the future he's not gonna do it. You already know it, because it's a pattern. Everything we do in our life is a pattern. Look at your income for the past 3-5 years. I bet you earn pretty much the same. It's an average. It might be up, might be down, but on average you earn pretty much the same, because that's where you're programmed. Look at your relationships with your friends, with your family. I bet they are pretty much the same. You might be trying, you might be thinking, this time I'm gonna make it work, or this time I'm gonna act differently, or this time I'm gonna be more understanding. But again, the doing part is the subconscious programming. The subconscious programming is very powerful. It's on autopilot. On autopilot. So basically, if you really think about it, we operate on autopilot for 95% of the day. You wake up and you boom, you go on autopilot. You don't even think about it, what you have to do. You can multitask, because you don't even think about it. You can just have your coffee, you can leave for work, you can drive, you can be on the phone, you can be texting, you can be speaking to people and still driving a car, you can be doing all sorts of stuff, because it's all on autopilot. Because if we repeat something over and over and over and over again, it's internalized. It goes into our subconscious. When it goes into our subconscious, that's it. We don't have to think about it ever again. It's there on autopilot. It's good if it's a good habit, If it's a good idea, if it's a good skill, it's good to have it on autopilot because I don't have to spend any more energy to think about it. How do I have to do it? It's just being done pretty much for me. However, if my programming doesn't bring me the results I want, then it's time to really start thinking about it, becoming aware of what is in my programming, what is in my paradigms, and start changing it. Because if we're not gonna go into our subconscious, into our beliefs and ideas and identify them, what is holding us back, that knowing part will not make any difference in your life. You may be reading hundreds of books, you may be listening to hundreds of online videos and so on, but if you not internalize that information, your behavior and your results will not change with time. You're only going to become more frustrated and you will just say it doesn't work.
So what my boss needs to do with that colleague then is just give him all the application calls that he's not doing right. So you're doing these for the next 30 days.
He has to give him that process, because everything, like even reprogramming our ideas, is giving someone that process to follow. If someone wants to change an idea or a habit, they have to do it reprogramming in the same way they've been programmed. We're being programmed through a repetition. Through repetition of certain ideas. This is how we program with any idea, any belief. If something happens to us over and over again, we take it for granted. We take it as this is what it is because it happened to me in the past and it's going to happen again. And because we expect it, it happens again. That's another part, something that we may talk about in the future, that we actually get not what we want in our life, but we get what we expect. And the expectation comes from our past experience and whatever we pay attention to, but that's something that we can discuss another time. So again, what is knowing doing gap? This is huge to understand. This is really important to be aware of. We have a knowing doing gap. Each of us has a knowing doing gap, especially if we don't pay attention to it. If we pay attention to it, then we can fix it, we can close it. But if we don't pay attention to it, the more information we gather, the more we study, everything is in our conscious mind. And that's the knowing part. But the doing part is the subconscious. So the conscious mind and the subconscious, there is a huge gap between the two. And I must understand what's the difference. And there is a huge difference between the two. Like we've already said before, the conscious mind is the thinking mind. So what's the thinking mind? We probably heard something like the thinking mind is the mind that I'm aware of. So I kind of think what I want to do and I do it. That's what we think it is. But the conscious mind, the thinking mind, is what connects us to the outside world. So basically, the way we are conditioned is that we are connected to the outside world through our senses. So we have 5 senses. So we hear, we see, we smell, we taste, and touch. So how does it work? So when we're born, when we're little kids, and sometimes maybe it happened to you at some point in the past, we tend to daydream a little bit, or maybe we just have our own happy bubble, or maybe we're just sort of like doing something in our own mind, because that's natural. Like the using our imagination is very natural. Imagination is one of our mental faculties, so that happens very natural. And then what happens? A parent or a teacher or someone from our outside world is saying to us, listen to what I'm saying. Look where you're going. Watch what you're doing. All these. Listen, here, listen to me. Look what I'm doing. Pay attention. All these are conditioning to pay attention to the outside world. So everything that we've been taught as a young kids is actually conditioning us to pay attention to the outside world, to what's going on outside of me, not inside of me, but outside of me. So we start observing and we think this is the priority and this is how we should be thinking, by paying attention to the outside world. by believing what's happening around me, by really taking the outside information as the truth. And that's how we are conditioned. However, the subconscious, the ideas that we get through those observations, these ideas, like I said before, through a repetition, are internalized and create our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is what controls our behavior, what controls of our doing. And the habits and beliefs and ideas, and we all have habits, beliefs, and ideas, belief about me, who I am, what am I capable of doing, an idea about how can I earn money, or how can I get that dream job. So one idea would be, yes, I can do it because I grew up believing in myself. Or an idea could be, there's no way I can do it. The economy is bad. There is no way I can open up this business. There's no demand for this. The business next door just went bankrupt. If they couldn't do it, I can't do it. There's no way for that. All these ideas we gather from somewhere. And because we are conditioned to pay attention to the outside world, we really believe that something is possible or impossible based on how we are programmed. And most of us is programmed to be looking and paying attention to the outside. The truth is, this is all wrong, because what's going on inside of me, it's much more powerful, because I truly create my results through my beliefs and through the ideas I got through life and through the ideas that I allowed to be internalized to my own subconscious mind. And like we said, pardon?
There, when you're saying that, it's almost like when Bob said about the react versus responding.
Yes.
So essentially they're teaching us to react instead of respond.
Absolutely. Yes. Reacting and responding, that's again another part of the topic, but we could just quickly say the difference between the two is if someone is very mean to us or someone is angry towards us, we react the same because someone is sending that negative energy to us, so we react the same. Reacting is pretty much acting like an animal on instinct, fight or flight. So either you fight or you run away. That's reacting, that's that animal instinct. However, responding is something that when we really think about it, responding takes time. Responding actually comes from who you are as a person, who you want to be as a person. If you respond, it means you respond the way you are and the way you want it, so there is no regrets afterwards. Responding is having that control over your own emotions. When you react, you give that control to someone else, because that someone else would have control over how you feel. If someone else can make you angry just because they were rude to you, it means you giving them control over your emotions. However, if you respond and you know who you are, because you know yourself, you know your worth, and you have a very strong belief about yourself, you would not allow the circumstances or people around you or circumstances to affect the way you feel about yourself, and then you respond. But again,
also, yeah, and it constitutes thinking as well.
Absolutely.
Because when you react, you're not thinking. You're
Absolutely.
just autopilot.
Yes, absolutely. That's a key point.
Yeah.
Yes. Responding vice reacting. Responding constitutes thinking. People say they think all the time. There's also someone, I've actually asked people on the street, random people, just as a little experiment, do you think people think all the time? Yes, we do, because we have this buzz in our head all the time. And we think this is thinking, but that's not thinking. Having that buzz in our head is not thinking, it's just memory being exercised. The real thinking is, like you've mentioned already, is actually thinking, what is that I want to say, who I am, and that's how I respond. Thinking is creating as well. So I use my thinking when I create, when I try to come up with solution, as opposed to, right, Circumstances are the way they are. There's no other way. It's not going to happen. That's just reacting because of the circumstances. Responding would be, how can I deal with it? What can I do to make it better or to come up with a solution? That is thinking. So a habit or belief or ideas, it's that something that's fixed in a person's subconscious mind that causes us to think or to do things without conscious thinking. So like I said already before, everything is on autopilot. You don't have to think twice, you just go on autopilot. So it's pretty much reacting that, right? And the paradigms, we've mentioned paradigms before. Being aware what the paradigm is will give you the freedom of changing it. Because if I said to you, okay, you have the results you have in your life right now, and the truth is that we create our results in our life, that's for sure, 100%, we create the results we have in our life, then this is where it is. But the good news is, if you're aware of it, if you're aware of the power of your mind, if you're aware of the power of your mental faculties, you can change it. And that's the beauty of it. You can make that change. So, okay, let's sort of think of a situation where we go through our life, and again, we go through all sorts of experiences. We try to better ourselves. We try to earn more money. We try to have more comfortable life. We try to have a happier life. We try to feel more fulfilled. We just want to be happy. It's not all about having money, but it's just about being happy, right? So depending what the happiness is for each person, they're going to be going after different sources. So we go through life and we're trying to have that perfect happy life, that balanced life. And when we go through life, normally, this is the first picture, so the bondage. So what it means is, again, you look at the stick person and you know that the stick person represents each and one of us, okay? So each and one of us has the conscious mind and the subconscious mind and the body, okay? So the conscious mind has X type of conditioning. So I have X type of thoughts. So some sort of thoughts that I have through most of my life, and I have X type of emotions. So it's all aligned. So I have my beliefs, I have my ideas. I basically go through life just with my logic and everything is great. And I behave the same way. So X type of behavior. So my body follows what I think and what I'm emotionally involved with. And I get X type of results. That's how it is. Through going through life, if we do nothing, if we change nothing, we get always the same results. So it's all the same. And then with time, we start thinking about our life. We start maybe thinking, I should have made different decisions in my life, or maybe I should have gone for that different job a few years ago, or maybe I should change jobs, or maybe I would want to have my own business to give me more freedom. Or maybe I would want to quit my job and go traveling. I've never done it before and I love traveling. Or maybe move to a different countries, try something new. So I have this Y idea. Y idea, it's a different idea to my X idea.
Me when I first joined the course.
Yes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yes. You can share with that later if you'd like, okay? Yeah. Thank you. Yes, so yes, so we have that new idea. There's something I want to change in my life. I know this is not the life I want to live. I don't feel fully happy. There's something missing, and we start thinking about it. So we have that why idea of, I maybe should change jobs, or maybe I should open my own business, or maybe I should use my skills that I've had and just start doing something different. So we start thinking about that different idea, the why idea. And if we just think about it, so that's the second picture. So we start thinking about it. So reasoning is thinking. When we just think about that idea from time to time, nothing happens. We still feel the same and we still act the same. So it's X type of emotions and it's X type of behavior and X type of results. So exactly the same like in bondage. Because I just think about it. So when I think about it, it's intellectually. I just think about an idea. I don't get emotionally involved because emotions are subconscious mind, right? The thinking mind is the thinking mind, is the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. And as we know from our past experience, we act based on emotions, right? So maybe you found yourself in a shop one day and you loved something. You maybe put that dress on, or maybe you went to see that bike or a car and you absolutely fell in love with it because you saw yourself there. You got emotionally involved with it and you bought it. Because we behave, we act based on emotions, right? However, going back to reasoning, until I just think about that idea and I don't get emotionally involved with it, nothing happens. I still feel the same and I act the same and I have exactly the same results. However, with time, when I keep thinking about it, and again, this is the same process like with everything else. If I keep thinking about it over and over and over again through a repetition of a certain idea, that idea, because I keep thinking about it, that idea is being internalized. So it's the third picture of the stick person. When that idea is internalized, meaning it goes into my subconscious, all of a sudden, I become emotionally involved with that idea. All of a sudden, thinking of quitting my job and opening up my own business, I really want to do it. This is an absolute dream of mine. I just want to live my dream. I just want to do it. I'm ready for it. That's what I want to do. I'm emotionally involved with it. I can see myself there and I feel I can do it. And what happens then? Then we have this X and Y type of conditioning in our subconscious. And X is our old subconscious, old beliefs, old ideas, and here it is comes the new idea, a Y idea, and my body reflects it. So my vibration is also very chaotic because here I've got my old thinking, my old ideas, old beliefs, X type of conditioning, and all of a sudden I have this new idea that I really want to act on, and my behavior reflects it. So maybe one time I'm going to be thinking, I just want to quit my job tomorrow, but then just before quitting it, I'm thinking, no, this is a wrong idea. So my behavior is reflecting what's going on in my mind because it's chaotic. It's chaotic because I don't really understand what's happening. I just know that I want to do something different and I feel I can do it and I know it's my dream, but then something is missing and I don't really have that clarity, and maybe I have doubts, or maybe fear comes in, because that's what it is. If I'm about to try something new, fear comes in. That's how it is. This is the terror barrier. What we call terror barrier is the fear before the unknown. That's the terror barrier. And why does it happen? Why do we have fear? Because I'm about to do something new. I'm about to go after something I've never done before. And that's a very uncomfortable feeling because I don't know what's going to happen. And trust me, this is, if we have the understanding of me, of my mind, how my mind works, of the process of making decisions, of the process of going through that mental barrier, of the process of reaching out of our comfort zone. If I have the understanding of that, if I understand me, who I am, and how I act and react, I would know that fear is always going to be present every single time I'm about to do something new. Fear is always present when I'm about to leave my comfort zone, because that's how we are programmed. That's how we are conditioned. This is us, humans. This is how we are programmed, our brain. wants to protect us. Our brain wants us to be safe. Our brain wants to keep us alive. So the moment when you hesitate before making a decision, even that split second, that sends a signal to your brain. And then the brain thinks, uh-oh, hold on a second, something is going on. We're about to go outside of our comfort zone. Don't do it. You don't know what's out there, and it pulls you back. It exaggerates the fear. Whatever you're facing, it just feels like so scary, and you start worrying. You give it another few seconds, worry comes in. You give it another few seconds, and you feel physically sick because that's been internalized and your body is going through anxiety. And this is what happens to each and one of us if we don't understand how we operate, if we don't understand how our mind works, how our brain works, how our nervous system works. We allow this to stop us from living the life we truly want. We allow this to stop us from going through that mental barrier. And we go back to what it feels safe. We go back to what it feels just comfortable. Because then our paradigm, our logic is talking us out of it. And we come up with all sorts of excuses. You name it. I'm sure everybody's been there before. Then we feel, I don't really need it. I'm okay. My life is good. Why would I need to risk something? What if I lose? What if it doesn't work out? Someone else didn't win. It probably is going to happen to me. The economy is not good. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. All these excuses. And then we go back and we live like this another few months or few years until another idea comes back, and this whole process starts over again. And this is where we live through our life, and we just wonder, I don't have what it takes to live my life dream. But it's not true. It's absolutely not true. You do have what it takes. You just have to understand what it is and how to bring your potential up to the surface. You must be aware that every single time, if you decide to have something that you've never done before, fear is going to kick in. Fear is a part of growth. If fear and excitement is present, it means you're going in the right direction. It means that you are on the right track. You're pushing through your mental barriers. You're going after something that you've always wanted. That's why you feel fearful, but you have to push through it. And that happens with understanding about yourself, about who you are and how you react. When you push through that mental barrier, when you push through fear, freedom is on the other side. So you live the life you want. You live your dreams. You're working towards your dreams. And that is gonna happen every single time when you aim for something higher. This is what's gonna happen every single time when you reach your goal and you set yourself the next goal. But because you've done it already with understanding, because you understand exactly how everything works with you and the things that you create around you, you will do it again. You'll push it through that mental barrier and you're gonna create the life you want. So this is the freedom. It's the freedom about not just your income, but about your health and your relationships and feeling really that passion for life. Because when you push through that mental barrier, so when you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, you discover something about yourself that you didn't even know was there. Because you don't even know what's hidden in your potential, and the truth is infinite. Once you start discovering it, once you keep pushing yourself through those barriers, you keep growing. When you keep growing, you keep discovering more and more and more about yourself, and that's fascinating, and it's endless. So now we sort of gathered some interesting information, I believe, during this webinar, right? So we are now aware of what is fear, what is the terror barrier. And the terror barrier is fear, right? So this is what stops most people from earning the amount of money they want and deserve and are worth. This is what is stopping people from having the meaningful relationships they want to have. This is what's stopping people from having that, discovering that passion in their life. And this is what's stopping people from living the full life that they truly want and deserve. So now we have that information, right? So I hope this was very interesting and that it triggered something in your mind that made you think about your life and about your results, because it's very important to take that time and really look at your results. You got to face it. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to look at your results and decide where you are right now and if this is where you want to be. If the answer is no, then decide what is that you want to change. Because you can change it, but you have to decide. The decision is the important process. So now we know this. We are aware of it, right? So what's the next step? After asking yourself those questions, after really taking an honest look at yourself and your life and your results, the next step is deciding if you want to change your life. Decision is the key. And decision is something that will change your life, but you have to make that decision. You know, decision is something that we are not learned at school. But quick decisions makers are the people who really win in a big way. People who can't make decisions are those people who procrastinate all the time. They just say, oh, I just need to think about it. I'm not sure. I may want to have it, maybe now, maybe later. I don't know. I need to think about it. Procrastination is the opposite of decision. If you cannot make a quick decision, it means your life is not going to change. And why do we procrastinate? We procrastinate because we don't have the clarity of what we want. We procrastinate because we don't really know who we are. We don't really know what is that we want. We're undecided. And that's how we live our life. The moment when you have it, clarity, what is your goal? What is that you want to achieve within the next month, within the next 6 months, 12 months? If you make that mental decision, what is that you truly want to achieve? You go after it. You make quick decisions because you've got a clarity in your mind. And we know this. If I know what I want, I'm going to go after no matter what it takes. And that's the attitude of the winner. And people who procrastinate, it's because they don't really know what is that they want. And if I don't know what I want, I'm not going to change anything in my life. I'm pretty much going to repeat my story from last year, from 2 years ago, from 5 years ago. Because if I just live and make no decisions, some people believe making no decisions is safe, but not making a decision is also making a decision. Is deciding that I give up on my life pretty much. Because I'm not making any decision and everything is passing by me. So then when you decide what is that you want to change, and you have to commit yourself to that change. And with every decision, there is always a price to pay. You must be willing to pay the price. And what's that price? That price is some sort of sacrifice. Because if we want to have something we've never had in our life, we must be willing to do something we've never done before, right? And the sacrifice is a very interesting concept, because I used to believe that I need to sacrifice certain things and I'm going to be really suffering because I've sacrificed it. But the truth is that sacrifice is I'm sacrificing something of a lower value to get something of a higher value. That's a sacrifice. So if I'm going after my true dream, I need to sacrifice a bit of my free time, maybe some money to invest in myself, and maybe even some weekends that I have to work towards it. But that sacrifice, the money, the time, is a lower nature, because I'm going after something of a higher nature, and the higher nature is my true dream. It's something that I've always wanted to do and always wanted to have, and that gives you the freedom. And that's the law. There's always have to be some sort of sacrifice to get something bigger, because you cannot, expect a fire or expect a heat in your home without either paying for electricity or putting the wood in. You cannot expect something for nothing. You have to be willing to give something in order to receive something bigger. So what is that way to freedom? What is it? It's really studying you. You must study. There is no other way to change your life for better. There's no other way but study. You must understand how your mind works. You must understand how you work, because the truth is, you were born with amazing gifts, like imagination, intuition, thinking. Thinking is the highest faculty you have. Perception. If you develop those mental faculties, if you start living from inside out, from creative plane, then you're gonna really create the results you truly want. Not because of the economy or because of your employer or because of the circumstances. That's living outside in. What you have to do, and the right way to live, is the creative way, and that's living from inside out. And this is by using your mental faculties, by using the power of your mind. And your mind is powerful. Your mind is limitless. But you must understand how it works, because if you don't understand how it works, then you're going to go on a hit and miss basis. One day it's going to be a good day, another day it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be up and down all the time, because we don't know what we're doing. If we don't know what we're doing, then how are we going to change our results? It's never going to happen. It's going to cost you lots of time, loads of frustration, and money as well, because you keep investing maybe in some books or online courses, or trying to find out how it works. So maybe you just spend time and years trying to do it, and time is money as well. And we never get the time back. So this is very important to remember, that first of all, you are a very powerful being. Each and one of us is a very powerful being. We are creative beings. The truth is that we create the results we have in our life. And if you're not happy with your results, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Absolutely not. It just means that we don't have the knowledge yet how to use our potential. But the good news is, there is that knowledge available. The success is a process. When you follow a process, you can get literally anything you want in your life. And you gotta go after your dream, because otherwise you're just existing. You're not living your life. If you're not happy with your results, you're just existing. And in 5-10 years, you're gonna have regrets that you haven't done certain steps, or you haven't made certain decisions. And everything is there for us to learn. Even decision-making process is something we can learn. We become a quick decision maker when we have the clarity of the mind, when we know who we are, and if we know what we want. Then deciding which way to go is very easy. So that would be it for today. And thank you everyone for participating. I hope you enjoyed it. And do you have any questions? I can't see anybody, and I can't hear. Okay, good. Well, I will ask actually Tim to tell about his experience for a few seconds, because basically what we do here is we teach people, we help people to understand what is holding them back, and how to push these mental barriers. And this is something that has changed my life. And because it's changed my life, when I was working with my mentor, I basically became one of the consultants with Bob Proctor, and that's what I'm doing for other people as well. I help people to get unstuck, and I help people to push them through their mental barriers to decide what is that they truly want in life and to change their results. Because life is too short to wait, or to wait for the right time and right moment. So basically, I have Tim here who would want to share with his experiences when he started working with us not so long ago, because like I said, it's basically speaks for itself. And like I said before, success is a process. When you follow the process, everything changes very quickly.
Yeah, it was about 2-3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it was very,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I remember the phone call. He phoned me up, and I was like, "You asked me the question. Well, do you want to come on the course or not?" And that's when the terror bar just came straight up. Like, do I want to do it? It's a lot of money, but I've made the decision to. Yeah, I'll do it. And then I think the week after I started doing the course, I got a phone call from Lyco, which is a marketing company for the mobile providers. They basically bought me out of a contract that I was on with Vodafone, which is costing me about £60 a month, and they gave me the same deal for about £36 a month. So they're saving me about 800 quid, plus the 150 I think it cost them to buy me out the contract. And then the next week after that, I had a great day at work. I think it was on Tuesday after the webinar. We have a weekly webinar. I was still buzzing after that, and so I was in a positive vibration. And I got like 10 resolves and had all my calls up to date. And same thing has happened today as well. Got 13 calls resolved, all my calls up to date. That's just great. I'm seeing great results.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Tim. And
a classic example with the what Bob says about discipline. Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow through on it. Today, I can tell you, the paradigm was trying its hardest to fight up against me doing my job, because I can't count how many times I caught myself thinking, oh, I don't have to do this. And I thought, no, I'm doing this. Mm-hmm. So, yeah,
yes,
it really worked.
It does work. And
I've avoided the flu as well. Colin's sitting beside me with the flu all week, and I've not caught it, which is great. Keeping a positive vibration.
Thank you, Tim, so much for sharing. And it just proves that it is a life-changing process, life-changing knowledge. It's not about just process, it's about knowledge. And when you think about your life, when you think about yourself, just imagine yourself that all the limitations we have is just the limitations that we impose on ourselves because of our beliefs and ideas that we got from someone else, because that's the truth. Beliefs and ideas are passed from generation to generation. That's why you perhaps act or behave like your parents or grandparents, because those are beliefs that are passed from one generation to another, and they're not always truth. They're not always true. And once you start getting that clarity of your mind, getting that understanding of your true potential, I mean, your results are going to change very quickly, and you're going to be absolutely amazed of what you're capable of doing. And it's not by coincidence, it's by the process, because it's again like when you work with someone else who's already done it, who understands how the mind works, you can get those tips quickly, straight away. It's like transforming that knowledge, that person's knowledge and years of education and experience into your mind straight away. So as opposed to, if you ever feel like, yes, I can do it and I know what to do and I'm working on something else, fantastic. Do it, go for it, but check your results. Check your results within a few weeks. You don't have to wait years to change your results. Absolutely not. My life personally changed within 2 months. Tim, like you said, he's already seeing, after a week, after 3 weeks, huge results change. When you do it properly, it happens quickly.
And also change the environment around you, because our queue at my work has been about 200, 300 calls overall,
Yeah.
between about 12, 15 of us are regularly in the office, and there's a couple that have been off sick for a while, but there's, say, about 15 of us on average a day, so we've got 250 to 300 calls
Amazing.
between them all.
Amazing.
Just in the last 2-3 weeks since I've joined this course, the queue has actually dropped down below 200 calls.
Wow.
198, I think we had today.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is just using your mindset in the right way. And
Yep.
like Tim mentioned, is, you know, the discipline is definitely needed. But when you understand how your mind works, you create that discipline, that self-discipline, because you know that you gotta do something different. If you want different results, you gotta do something different. So what I would want to do before we go, it's literally just last few seconds that I wanted to invite you to book your one-on-one with me. Book your complimentary one-on-one with me. We can schedule a call and we can talk about what is holding you back, what might be holding you back, and what is that you've tried in the past, what is that you want to achieve. And I promise you, if you take that leap of faith, if you do something different, then your life will change very quickly. And you gotta give yourself that chance. You must bet on yourself, because if you don't do it, no one else will do it for you. Everything is in your hands. We gotta be responsible for our choices, and we are responsible for our results. And the truth is, this sort of information is not being taught at school, unfortunately, but it's available and it's here waiting for you. But all you have to do is just take a leap of faith, book that one-on-one with me, and you never know when it's going to take you. So,
and you might crash through that terror barrier like I did.
Probably, yes, because it happens. Absolutely. Every time when we do something different, I mean, fear kicks in. So yes, expect fear to kick in, and expect your paradigms is talking you out of it, thinking you don't really need it because your life is okay. But are you happy with an okay life? Are you really happy with an okay life? Don't you want to live that amazing life of yours? Because the truth is, it's like I've been doing this for years now, and every single month I'm discovering something different, and it's an amazing journey. There's no end to it. Bob's been teaching this for 55 years, and he's still saying he's discovering something about himself. And this is when you really live your life in freedom, because you live it the way you want it, not because of the society dictating it or circumstances. It's all in your hands. All right, guys, if there is no other questions, then I thank you very much for being here with me today. And here is my information. You've got my email details and my mobile number. I'll send the video to everyone afterwards, and please share it with your friends, with your family. Listen to it over again, because it's like with everything, the information, when they are repeated, the chances are that you can hear something you haven't heard before, because that's how our mind works. When we listen to something, our mind wanders. So it goes on and off, on and off. That's why when you listen to something second time, you hear something you haven't heard before. And it's not because it wasn't there, because your mind just wandered away a little bit. Well, thanks again for listening. Thank you for being here, and I wish you a wonderful week, and I look forward to hearing back from you.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.